Do you offer, okay, the questions are already coming in from Victor DK. Do you offer opportunities in cybersecurity? Absolutely. For cybersecurity, there are three key focus areas. Number one is ethical hacking and penetration testing. The second part is security operations center analyst. And number three is governance, risk, and compliance, GRC. So if you're interested in any of these three specializations in cybersecurity, Tenalytics is the best place for you to get started. But our major aim for today's session is how to gain work experience. Okay, there are a lot of people that focus on just the practical skills, the technical skills, and that's it. But then you struggle to land a job. Why? Because no employer will take a chance on you. They won't spend their time interviewing you because they don't want to make a mistake. They don't want to hire the wrong person. They don't want somebody to come in and learn at their own expense. So they want you to come in with the type of skills and experience, most importantly, experience that would enable you to do the job. Okay, so how do you gain that experience? So it's a chicken and an egg situation. Which one comes first? Does experience come before the job, or does the job come before the experience? All right. And I'll show you today that if you ever want to get a job, you're in the UK, you're in the US, you're across Europe, you're in Canada, you want to ensure that you have experience, because all your interviews will be competency-based. They'll ask you competency-based questions. How else do you answer competency-based questions if you haven't done that job before? Okay, so that's what our session today would center around. We'll have a presentation for about 1 hour, and I would walk you through practically, in practical steps, what you need to start doing. Okay, I'll show you how Tenalytics can also help you do that, and how we've helped over 2,855 people do the same. And then we'd have a question and answers session. All right. Caleb is saying, I've registered. I haven't received my welcome kit. Caleb, you'd receive your welcome kit typically 1 week before the program commences. So the next cohort starts on the 8th of March. So if you haven't received your welcome kits on or before Monday, you will receive it. Okay. So I'm going to take questions. So anybody who hasn't received your welcome kits, that's simply the reason why you haven't. You get this usually the week the program starts, which is on Monday. So don't worry, you can be rest assured that everything is in control. Now let's get started. But before we start the main meat of our session, I want you to tell us where you are coming up, joining us from. Okay, I'm currently in Alberta, Canada. If you are joining us from anywhere across the globe, type it into the chat. Okay, John says, I've received mine a couple of minutes ago. Interesting. Okay, so we have people from Nigeria, from the UK, fantastic. Manitoba, Regina, Saskatchewan, fantastic. Ekiti, Nigeria, Scotland. This is the beauty of having, virtual sessions like this. You get to interact with people from across the globe. And you have the opportunity to learn from the best of the best in the industry, from the comfort of your home. Okay, now let's dive into the main meat of our session today. Okay, and one thing I just want to mention before we get started, if you want to receive my slides and all the materials we will use today, ensure that you fill the attendance form. That's very, very important. Okay, you're welcome, Grace, joining us from the UK. Tracy joining us from Zambia. So how do you gain work experience? How do you gain work experience? Now, for a lot of people, they only think that I can gain work experience by going to the office. I have to take the train, I have to take the bus, I have to go drive to the office to gain work experience, but that's not the only way. For anybody transitioning, so imagine you've been a nurse, you are currently a care worker, you're a support worker, you've worked back in Zambia, back in Nigeria. Now you find yourself in Canada or in the UK and you're trying to get a job. You need to show evidence that you've done this before. Now, how do you get a job that you don't have experience in? It's practically impossible. So you need to gain experience, but how do you gain that experience? And that's what I'll be showing you today. And just to do a little bit of introduction, for us at Tenalytics, we are the leading educational technology company focused on helping Africans in Africa and Africans in the diaspora to transition into the tech ecosystem. And over the last 4 years, we've helped over 2,855 people make that transition from non-technology backgrounds into different career paths within the UK, the US, Canada, across Europe, and so on and so forth. And of course, in different other career paths, from data analytics to business analysis to cybersecurity, project management. And for me, I'll be leading the session today. My name is Adeza Suleiman. I'm a technology expert with over a decade experience in data analytics, data engineering, management consulting. So like many of you, my background was in industrial chemistry. I didn't do anything related to technology, but then I was able to make that transition. And over the last 4 years, we've helped over 2,850 people, 55 people to be specific, to also make that transition with no prior background. So you have people who were accountants back in Nigeria. Today, they are business analysts in Canada. You have people who did procurement, who did who are care workers, customer service professionals, warehouse workers back in the UK, back in the US, but we've helped them make that transition to become data scientists and and so on and so forth. My experience spans across multiple regions from the US to the UK as a data science consultant, working with one of the largest privately owned energy conglomerates in sub-Saharan Africa as a data analyst, and worked with FITC, owned by the Central Bank of Nigeria, and the Bankers Committee as a data analytics consultant. I've worked in educational technology, in energy, automobile, financial services, and also in sports. Okay, so why are we here? I've told you all the reasons why we're here, and our session would cut across 4 key areas. The first is, before you even start talking about experience, you need to know the in-demand career path. So if what I do today is I'm currently a logistics professional, I've worked in the bank, I'm trying to get a job, I came into Canada as a PR, or I came in for my master's, I'm a dependent, I have a work permit. How do I get a job that is in demand? Because that's very critical. Okay. Or I'm in the UK, I'm in the US, I'm a student, I'll be completing my program in the next couple of months, and I want to get a visa sponsored job. Where do I start from? The in-demand career path. And I'll show you clearly how to identify the career path to pursue. For a lot of people, it's all about what opinions of other people. Today, they hear that business analysis is the in thing, and everybody wants to rush into that. But how do you identify and select a career path based on the fact that it is in demand and it will also stay relevant over the next 5 to 10 years? Then I would walk you through the reason why we are here today, how to gain work experience. I'll show you our upcoming cohorts starting in March. We're already in March, actually, and also in April. And I have a special, amazing offer for everybody who stays till the end of the session today. So if you know somebody who is struggling to get a job, you know somebody who has been at this for the last couple of months, for years, and they can't really get a job or get opportunities for even getting an interview, send this link to them, get them into this session because they'll benefit a whole lot. All right. Now let's get started. Let's dive in and get cracking. Okay. Too much echo. Please confirm that I'm audible and you can hear me clearly. So if you can hear me clearly and I'm audible, just type in a yes into the chat. If you can hear me and I'm audible and I'm clear. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, absolutely fantastic. So for the person asking if I'll get the recording, yes, you will. As long as you fill the attendance form, you will get the recording after today's session. Now, one of the major questions anybody would ask is, where do I start from? Adeza, I've been thinking about making this transition, but I don't know how to start. I don't know where to start. How do I select the right career path? For what we do at 10 Analytics, we take this from a data-driven approach in selecting the career path that are in demand. So what we do is we scrape data from the major job boards, from LinkedIn, from Glassdoor, from CV Library, from Workopolis, from Google Jobs, Think about it, read.co.uk, job rights, UK visa jobs, and so on, from across the three major economies. We take that data, we analyze the data to identify the career path that have the highest frequency. So which career path exists, do HR consultants, potential organizations hire for? All right, the career path that are in demand with the highest frequency of jobs. So we do that, and we also juxtapose against three major criteria. Now, because a career path is in high demand does not mean that it is easy to get into or it is easy to learn. And I'll give you a typical example. A full stack software developer, for example, would need anywhere between 18 to 24 months to transition into that career path. A robotics engineer is a career path that is in high demand. But to get into robotics, you need to have prerequisites in electrical electronics engineering. So you probably have to go back to school, go for a master's or something to break into that career path. So the singular fact that a career path is in high demand does not mean it's easy to get into. So what we do, or what we did further, is we need to look at ease of learning. So now we've seen the career paths that are in high demand. Which of these career paths can I learn within the space of 6 months to 12 months? At the maximum, I gain the skills, I gain experience, I work on projects, I build a portfolio, and I start applying to jobs and I can land a job. Then we looked at the second criterion, which is ease of transitioning. And what does this mean? Like I mentioned earlier, my first job after I graduated from the university was as a management consultant. My degree was in industrial chemistry, but today I've worked as a data analyst, data scientist, data engineer, data analytics consultant, and so on and so forth. We've had care workers, like I mentioned earlier, transition from care working jobs to becoming data analysts, data scientists. And I'll share a couple of success stories with you. So we also looked at that second criterion. How easy is it to transition? And finally, high and rewarding salary. So what we came up with were 8 career paths that if you want to get a job today, you want to transition, you want to get a job the fastest in 2025, you want to look into these 8 career paths. And number 1 is the business analyst career path. Agile project manager, scrum master, the data analyst, the data scientist, the data engineer, the cybersecurity analyst, the financial analyst, and last but not the least, the HR analyst. So we identified these 8 career paths. They were in high demand. They were easy to learn, easy to transition into, and also had high and rewarding salaries. But we didn't stop there because we didn't want to analyze in isolation. So we looked at reputable organizations that have carried out similar research for external validation. And one of the places we went to was the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report. The World Economic Forum is an organization comprising of industry leaders, politicians, your celebrities, government officials. They come together every year and they chart the path of where the world would go in the next coming years. Okay, so it's always important. And they've been releasing this report since 2016, and they've been very accurate in predicting where the world would go and the career path to focus on. So we looked at the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs reports, and the most recent came out last month, 2 months ago. We are in March already, in January 2025. So every 2 years, the Future of Jobs report is released. All right. Now, the one released in January this year simply indicates in the next 5 years, between 2025 and 2030, 170 million new jobs will be created. And that's fantastic. So what it means is for a professional who has the skills to get a job in the areas where these jobs will be created would stand, amazing opportunities of competing for some of the best jobs available, and would also find it easy to get a job. But guess what? While 170 million jobs will be created, 92 million jobs will disappear. Now, it's important that you are not part of these 92 million. Okay? Because if your job will disappear in the next 5 years, then it's time to start pivoting, to start learning the skills, upskilling, to find opportunities that would enable you become relevant over the next 5 years, essentially. And that's where we get into the nitty-gritty. The World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report would show you at the left-hand side the jobs that would grow in demand, and at the right-hand side, the jobs that would decline in demand. So this is very pertinent. If I'm a compliance officer, for example, my job is going to decline in the next couple of years. And so many other areas. I'd highlight a couple of them. But it's important that you understand that if I want to transition today, I want to ensure that I'm in a career path that would stay relevant and that would grow in demand. So let's focus on that. Number one on the list are the big data specialists. The big data specialists, the data warehousing specialists, the data engineers. All right. So these are data engineering roles. These are professionals that get data from wherever data is generated. They store that data in a central environment and make that data accessible to anybody who needs to use that data. Now, why are their roles in so much high demand? That's simply because the amount of data we've generated over the last 5 years, 90% of the data that exists in the world today was generated in the last 5 years. The world has arguably been in existence for over 300,000 plus years. 90% of the data that exists was generated in the last 5 years. So think about it. So organizations are struggling to get professionals to help them store that data, make the data easily accessible, and make use of that data to take decisions eventually. All right. So you'd also see the AI and the machine learning specialist, the data analyst, and the data scientist. And these are professionals that help businesses turn the data they have into insights. Okay. It's like having crude oil. You turn crude oil, you refine it into petroleum products, jet fuel, premium motor spirits, and so on and so forth. That's the role of the data analyst and the data scientist. Then you have the information security analyst. These are the cybersecurity professionals. So if you're in cybersecurity, you're in data engineering, you're in data analytics, data science, you will find yourself relevant. You won't struggle to land a job when you get into this career path. Then you have the process automation specialist, the digital transformation specialist. These are the business analysts. They are the professionals that ensure that within an organization, processes are optimized. If something takes 5 days, they reduce it to take 24 hours or 5 minutes by implementing strategies, automations, and so on and so forth. Then you also have the HR analyst. All right. Now let's move further. You have the business intelligence analyst. These are the data analysts. You also have the database architects. They are your data engineers, your project managers, but not the conventional project managers, the agile project managers. And I'll explain why it has to be agile. The agile project managers are the project managers that work within the technology ecosystem. They manage and lead projects that involve building of applications, building of software, and that's where you want to be to compete for the best jobs available. Then you have the business analysts, who are the management and organization analysts. And finally, you also have the HR analyst. So what this clearly shows you, and if you look at some of the jobs that are being phased out over the next 5 years, you'd see jobs like the cashiers and the ticket clerks, the bank tellers, and so on, the accounting and bookkeeping professionals. To be you're an accountant, you'd see the accountants and auditors. So in the next 5 years, your career path will decline in demand. So accountants have asked me, Adeza, you've told us that my career path will decline in the next 5 years. What do I do? Simple. All you need to do as an accountant is learn data analytics, add analytics tools and technologies to your existing accounting and financial skills, and you become a financial analyst. You become a financial planning and and analytics professional. You can become a commercial analyst and so on and so forth. So just by the singular fact of upskilling, taking your accounting knowledge, accounting background, adding data to it, it gives you the opportunity to compete for some of the best jobs available out there. The lawyers are also at risk, and this is due to the emerging technologies that would see coming up in the next 5 years. So we came up with 8 career paths based on our research and analysis, and also the research from the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report. All you need to do is go online, although I've kept the link for you, so you have access to download the full report right here. Okay, so to get access to the slides, you can download the report, read the report in detail. Make sure you fill the attendance form so you get access to that. Very important. Okay, so there are 8 career paths. If you want to get a job, you want to focus on these 8 career paths. You want to be a data analyst, a data scientist, a data engineer, cybersecurity professional, a business analyst, financial analyst, HR analyst, and last but not the least, the agile project manager / scrum master. So I want you to type into the chat and feel free to select more than one. Which of these career paths are you interested in? Okay, just type into the chat, which of these career paths are you interested in? You can have more than one, but not more than 2. Okay, maximum of 2, minimum of 1. Victor says data analyst, scrum master, interesting. Favor data analytics, data science. Scholes, business analyst, absolutely phenomenal. Eric, I think I've seen Eric join our session a couple of times. Data and business analyst, absolutely fantastic. Cybersecurity, Sahid says financial analyst, absolutely fantastic. Now, that's the first thing you have to do. Identify the career path you're interested in. The next step is, how do I get this job? What do employers really want from me? Okay, so you've decided, I'm going to pursue this particular career path, but how do I get the job? What do employers want? And that's why we are here today. How do you know what employers want, and how do you pursue that eventually? And a lot of people make the mistake right here. So they think they can learn on YouTube, they can learn on different platforms and get the job, but they find themselves struggling for months and even for years, and they can't land that job. And I'll show you some of the mistakes that you make. But employers want just 2 things from you. Okay, but before we get there, I want to ask a question. I've used this illustration so many times, but I'm going to use it again. Now, imagine you want to get a couch. You are making some changes in your home. You want to get a couch, a new couch for your living room. And you're considering 2 people. Carpenter A. Carpenter A has a certificate that shows he's gone to carpentry school. He was the best. He had distinction in carpentry school. You have Carpenter B, who has a showroom. And that showroom, you can walk into the showroom, you can see what Carpenter B has built, the different couches, the different colors, the quality. You can touch it, you can feel it. Who would you trust to make your couch? Carpenter A or Carpenter B? Just type in the chat. Type A or B in the chat. A or B. Dennis says B, B, B. Kayode B. Okay, Ronke says visibility. Absolutely. Carpenter B. Carpenter B. Sunny says Carpenter B. Bishara Williams says, Achilles says B has proof. I love that. B has what? Proof. B has evidence that he can do it. I'm not going to take a chance because I know B can do it. A, I'd have to take a chance on him because all he has is a beautiful, fancy certificate that says he had a distinction in carpentry school. Now, everybody, 100% of you, nobody selected A, you all selected B. And I want you to leave this session today with this particular statement. And it's something that we have lived by at Analytics, and that has made us so successful in helping people to get jobs. Competence over credentials. You can write it down. So this is the part where you take out your notebook and you start jotting things down. Competence over credentials. Nobody cares about your certification. Nobody cares about where you studied. If you studied in Cambridge University, University of Bradford, Solent University, University of Alberta, Nobody cares. University of Ado Ekiti, University of Lagos, Unilag. Nobody cares about where you studied. Nobody cares about your credential. Your certification is a measure of how much you can pour back all the things you've read and how well you can assimilate. That's all. It doesn't show that you can do the job. And employers would not hire you for your credentials. They would hire you for what? Your competence. So write this somewhere. Competence over credentials. Now, what does competence mean? What does it entail? Two things: skills and experience. Skills and experience. That's your competence. When you get into an interview, they don't ask you questions about when did you write this exam or how did you write this exam. They ask you questions like, tell me about a time you have managed you've managed a process optimization project. How did you deal with a difficult stakeholder? If you haven't dealt with a difficult stakeholder before, if you haven't managed a process optimization project, you would struggle to answer that question. When you ask questions like, tell me about a time you've helped any organization where you worked to build a database, creating a single source of truth. What were the key constraints you considered when building your table to ensure data quality? If you haven't built a database before, you would struggle to answer that question. And that's why experience is absolutely critical. For a lot of people, the skills might be a little bit easier to get. Okay, but a lot of people are still doing it wrong. They're learning on YouTube, they're learning on Udemy, learning on Coursera, trying to learn it on their own. If you learn on your own, okay, if you learn on your own, you'd always find so many issues. I've done it before, I've been there. Okay, I have 1,000,001 Udemy courses I never got to finish because I got frustrated when I was transitioning since 2013 because I saw it and I had issues. I was writing a particular query in SQL. I did exactly what I saw on the screen, but I was getting errors and there was nobody to speak to. Okay, I'll show you how to learn, the best and the most effective way to learn. But more importantly, how do you gain experience? Okay, to ensure that you compete, you are attractive to the recruiters. So employers would want you for two things: your skills and your experience, nothing more. And since we know that experience is important and you need this to land the job, some job requirements would say 2 to 3 months, I beg your pardon, 2 to 3 years experience. Some would say 5 years experience. Some would say 4 years experience. Some would say 0 to 1 year experience. But how do you gain that experience? So this is what we do at Analytics. Over the last 4 years, we are in the fifth year right now, over 2,855 people. This was how they learned, and this was how they gained experience to apply to the jobs that they work in today and made that transition. Number one, you must learn in a project-based environment and work on real-world case studies. Okay, so this is not just saying real world case studies, but actual real world case studies from real companies, real businesses that exist. You help them solve problems. Now, how does this work? So take, for example, you have somebody like myself. I have over a decade experience as a data analyst, as a data scientist, as a data engineer, management information systems analyst, business systems analyst. I've held so many roles over the last decade of my career. Now we take my experience. I've solved thousands and thousands of problems for companies. We take those problems I've solved, we take my experience and we convert that into case studies. We change the name of the company and we tweak the data in a way that you can't tie any part of the data to an organization, of course, because of data privacy. And you, who is a participant in any one of our programs, would get to work on these case studies and you gain the exact same experience that I gained when I was solving those problems. So you're solving a real world problem that existed or exists in the real world, and you are solving that problem. There's no better way to learn and gain experience than that. It's different from you just watching videos and trying to replicate what you see. But here you have a business case. The company has a problem. That problem, you would need to solve that problem for the company and make a presentation, show the rationale behind the solution you've provided. So that's the first thing you have to do. And I'll show you how to do this practically. All right. Now, when you've done this, the second part is you must join an internship or apprenticeship to enable you work in a cross-functional team. Now, when you work on projects, some of those projects would be individual-based projects, some would be group-based projects. Now, to gain cross-functional experience, because in the real world, you don't work in isolation. You work together with other professionals. The data analyst would work with different stakeholders within the organization. You'd work with the data scientists, the BI analysts. You'd work with the data engineers, the database administrators. If you're helping the commercial manager to solve a problem, you'd work with them closely. If you're helping the CEO to solve a problem, you'd work with them closely. So how do you gain that experience working in a cross-functional team? You must join an internship or an apprenticeship that would give you the opportunity to collaborate with other professionals and solve a real-world problem together. All right. So when you learn with us, you learn in a project-based environment, number one. Number two, we have internship. Once you are done learning, you join our internship program that enables you work in a cross-functional team. For example, a business analyst, agile project manager would work together to help a startup build an AI-driven web application. And I'll show you what that project looks like. You'd work with a real software developer. You'd build a real application. You'd use your tools, Jira, Trello, Confluence, all those amazing tools you've learned. You'd learn how to apply them in the real world, building a real product and launching that product. Okay, you'd work with a UI UX designer and all these professionals. You'd have your daily sprints. You'd have somebody you report to. You'd have your stakeholder presentation, stakeholder status reports, your daily stand-ups. It could be daily, it could be every other day, it could be weekly stand-ups, but you would decide based on the team you have formed and decide how often you'd meet to eventually build and solve this problem. And the third part is visibility. We all agreed that if we want to get that couch, we'd go for carpenter B, not A. And somebody very intelligently said, B has visibility, A doesn't have. So you must showcase your work in a portfolio website. That is your showroom. Just like the carpenter who has a showroom, I can walk into that showroom. I don't have to speak to anybody. I can look around the showroom and I can decide I want this couch, but in a different color. How long will it take? You need to have somewhere potential employers, hiring managers can go into without speaking to you, see the quality of the work you can do, and then invite you for an interview. So how do you do this? I'm going to show you how using a real person who joined one of our programs as a case study. So practically, how do you gain this experience from all the things I've listed? Number one, we said work in a project-based environment. Number two, join an internship, apprenticeship to work in a cross-functional team. And number three, you build a portfolio website to showcase all the experience you have. All right. So I'm going to highlight Victor's journey for us very quickly, and that would give us very good understanding of what we need to do leaving today's session. So I've also kept all the links to the portfolio, Victor's portfolio. Victor is a data scientist with us. He joined our data science program, our full stack data science. Victoria joined our data analytics program. Lemuel joined our business analysis program. Onwachuku Gad joined our data engineering program. And I also kept a cybersecurity portfolio for you right here. Okay, so you start to see what your portfolio should look like. And if you don't have this, and you're trying to get a job in a tech heavily skilled career path, you're going to struggle to land that job. All right. So let's take Victor's story very quickly. Victor Omoboye He's a data scientist. He joined our full stack data science program. And one of the first things Victor did with us at Analytics is to learn in a project-based environment and solve real-world problems. One of the problems Victor solved was helping a credit union who had started having issues. This credit union had a lot of non-performing loans. They had given out loans to customers and people were not paying back. Now, Victor, as a data scientist, came in to help the credit department solve this problem. And how did he do it? He built a loan default prediction model. It's a supervised machine learning model to help identify customers who are likely going to default on their loan before they even default. So if I know who is likely going to default based on different criteria and features, I'm not going to give you that loan because I know that it would definitely turn into a non-performing loan. So that was one of the projects Victor worked on, and I'll show you exactly how that played out. Okay, so remember, this is the first part, learning in a project-based environment. So I'm going to take you to the classroom and I'll show you exactly how Victor did this. All right. So going into Victor's classroom. So the way you learn with us at Analytics, you learn in a blended learning approach. You have a live class every Saturdays where you have a professional like myself working together with you, solving problems together. You have the opportunity to ask questions. So there is no avenue where you are left alone. You don't have anybody to talk to. You have a WhatsApp group. You're in a WhatsApp group to interact and communicate with other, participants in that program. Your facilitator, your trainer, the industry expert is also in that group. But you have your live classes. And then you have your self-paced class. So your live class is on Saturday. That's where we get to interact. I show you how to solve problems. We work on case studies together. You ask questions. If you've done something, you can't get it right, you can share your screen. We look at it together and I tell you exactly what you've done wrong. Okay. And then you have the self-paced class. I'll show you what the self-paced class looks like as well. So for anybody who's joined us, for example, you go to our website, excuse me, you go to your dashboard. In your dashboard, you see the program you've registered for. All right. So we're using Victor's case as an example. And Victor joined the full stack data science program. So this is the LMS, the learning management system. You can log into this platform any day, anytime, anywhere, any device, and you can watch and solve problems in a self-paced ecosystem. You don't need to be in a live class. So this is what the LMS looks like from week 0 all the way down to where you get to complete your work. Now, this is where your project-based learning starts from. Let's go to the machine learning module. So I go to the machine learning module, supervised machine learning, and I go to the very first project. The very first project in learning machine learning, I'm not learning machine learning the way you learn at Udemy, the way you learn at Coursera or on YouTube. I'm learning machine learning by solving an actual problem from a company that really exists. So for this particular case study, this is a case study for a hospital called Peterside Hospital. Of course, the name has been changed, like I mentioned. The name has been changed, and you are helping this hospital do what? Build a model to predict heart conditions based on different features and criteria. Does the person smoke? What's the weight of the person? What's the BMI, the body mass index of the person, and so on? And based on these different features, you can predict that this person has a heart condition even before they undergo any single test. Now, slowly and steadily, you would apply univariate, bivariate, multivariate analysis. You build your machine learning model to solve this problem eventually. So this is your self-paced class. You don't need to join a live class. Here you watch and you solve the problem. Okay. So you don't get to machine learning until around week 13 or thereabouts. But let's go to the live class, which is very much which is the most important part of our session in gaining the experience. Now, for somebody like Victor, during his machine learning class, he worked on a project where they built a loan default prediction model to help the credit union identify customers that are likely going to default. Okay, so you'd read the background of the company, the name of the company is in the financial services sector. All right. What problems are they facing? You understand the problems. You understand the rationale of solving this problem. If you don't solve the problem and help this company identify customers that will default, what happens? They go out of business. Okay. So you have all the documentation of what this project is all about. Then in your live class, you work together with an industry expert who would solve this problem with you. Okay. You solve this problem together step by step. So you look at the project workflow and then you start solving this problem together. You can stop, you can ask questions. Why is this like this? Why is this? Why are we doing things this way? And so on and so forth. Okay. So you'd see the facilitator, you'd see people asking questions. And typically this is how a live class goes on at Analytics. So you have the self-paced. You can log in anytime, watch your videos, but every Saturday you join a live class with a professional and you solve problems together. All right. Now, Victor worked on this project for this credit union. After completing the project, what did Victor do? Victor had gained the experience to help that company solve the problem of non-performing loans. And then he added it to his portfolio. And let me show you exactly how. Now, before I go to Victor's portfolio, I want to highlight something. I want to take you to Victor's LinkedIn profile because everything is in a sequential way, strategically done to ensure that when you eventually get that job, you are getting the job simply because you know what you're doing. Okay, so let's look at Victor's portfolio, Victor's LinkedIn profile, and then we come back to look at his portfolio. Okay, so we go on LinkedIn. I'm going to type Victor. We go to Victor's profile. So you'd see what Victor does at the moment. Without a doubt, you know that Victor is a data scientist. If you click on Victor, it takes you into his profile. All right. And here you get to see Victor is a data scientist, turning data into strategic insights, skilled in Python and SQL, properly done. His headline is properly done. And this didn't happen by chance. Victor also went through our LinkedIn optimization session. Okay. Now, if you look at Victor's profile, he has the link to his portfolio. This link to his portfolio, the portfolio is his showroom, like that carpenter that has a showroom. You can walk into the showroom, you can see what he's done. That's the link to Victor's showroom. Okay. This link would be on his CV, on his LinkedIn, and everywhere you have a profile of Victor. So anybody can see what he's done. They know how good he is and invite him for an interview. So if you click on this, it takes you into his portfolio, or we can click on the link right from my slide. And remember, like I said, to get access to my slide, you want to ensure that you fill the attendance form. So if I click on this link, it takes me into Victor's portfolio. So I see who Victor is, what he's all about. I can see his core competencies, and I can see the projects that he has worked on. And one of them is what? The loan default prediction. Remember, this was what he worked on in class. So if you go back to his classroom, that was what he did on these dates. The case study, a supervised machine learning case study, Loan Analytics Incorporated, building a loan default prediction model for them. Now, after he completed this, he uploaded it into his portfolio. So anybody from anywhere in the globe, anywhere in the world can click. A HR consultant, a hiring manager can click on this link. It takes them to Victor's portfolio and they can see exactly what Victor has done. So what's this project all about? The project focuses on developing an automated loan default prediction model for Loan Analytics Incorporated using machine learning. This project involves EDA, exploratory data analysis, feature engineering, and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, what happens? It helps the company improve its loan approval efficiency and minimize financial losses by identifying high risk borrowers early in the process. So rather than just approving all the loans, you want to use this machine learning model to identify who is at risk and who is not at risk of a default. And then you go ahead and approve or not approve. So if you look at this, you can read what this project is all about. Go, scroll through, read the introduction, the rationale, the problem statements, the aim of the project, the methodology. But more importantly, I can see what Victor did exactly. I can go to his Python notebook, click on the Python notebook, and I can see the libraries that Victor used. So if I'm a hiring manager and I want to hire somebody who is a data scientist that knows how to use Python and knows how to use all these libraries, I know that Victor is my guy. Victor is the person for me to go to. So I can see the libraries he's used. I can see how he brought his data into his Python notebook. I can see how he cleaned his data. I can see how he, carried out his exploratory data analysis and so on and so forth. So without a doubt, I know that Victor is the right person for the job. I can invite him for an interview. I want to have a conversation and I want him to tell me a little bit more about what? Loan analytics, loan prediction model. Tell me exactly what this project was all about and so on and so forth. That's how you build experience. And this is how you showcase your experience for visibility, for people to know what you've done, how good you are, the quality of that couch when you walk into the showroom. I can also access Victor's portfolio from his LinkedIn. If I click on this, it takes me to that same portfolio. All right. So that's the first thing Victor did. Learned in a project-based environment, solved problems that are real-world based. When he's asked the question, tell me about a time you built a machine learning model, he won't mince his words when he talks about this particular project that he's completed. The second step was Victor also did what? He worked together with data analysts, data engineers, and other stakeholders during his internship. So when he completed his learning with us at Analytics, he joined our internship program, worked in a cross-functional team because you need to know how to work with other people, even when you work from home. They're going to have meetings, they're going to have requirements gathering, they're going to have stakeholder reports, presentations to show your findings and your recommendations. If you haven't done this before, you'd struggle on day one when you get hired. And more importantly, finally, Victor also built a portfolio, which we've just seen. And the portfolio does what? It showcases his experience. And this is the best way to gain experience for somebody who wants to transition. Quit talking about, I have a certification in this. Quit talking about the fact that you only have a CV. Your CV can only get you into the room, and your CV should have something at the top. Apart from just your address, your contact details, it must have your LinkedIn profile and also your portfolio link, the link to your portfolio, the link to your showroom. And that was exactly what Victor did. So when you are done doing all these things, you get to intern with not just Analytics, but also with Amdari. So your internship is with Amdari. Amdari is a sister company to Analytics, registered in the UK, in London. Okay. And Tenalytics is in Alberta, Canada. So for those in the UK, you can easily gain your UK work experience without any hassle. You join the internship with Amdari, you work on numerous projects in a cross-functional team, and you have UK work experience. If you are in Canada, for example, you get Canadian work experience by working on projects with Tenalytics. So it's the best of both worlds for you. You intern and have work experience from two leading technology companies. Okay. Now, what this does, when you have experience with Analytics and experience with Amdari, it gives you the opportunity to list our details for a reference. So organizations would not hire you until you can provide them with references. So who have you worked with before? Which reputable organizations have you worked with? So if you go to any of our participants who have gotten a job, one of the first things you'd see is they have experience with us, because recruiters would only find you attractive when you can show them that you are on the job and you've done this before. A company found you competent to hire you. So if I hire you, I'm not making a mistake. All right. So we provide you with those references as well. And I'll show you a couple that came in the last 3 to 5 days, what the references look like. So what you do is what somebody like Busola did when Busola got a job last year, 2024 in March. Sorry, I beg your pardon. I think sometime in July. Let's go to Busola's profile. Okay. So Busola joined our data analytics program. Busola is in Toronto, Canada. She joined our data analytics program in March 2024. And by July, she had gotten this job with Desjardins in Ontario, Canada. Now, before she got this job, what do you have as part of our work experience? Data analyst with Tenalytics, Canada. Okay. Now, Desjardins reached out to us to provide a reference for Busola before she got confirmed on this particular role. Same with somebody like Oluwadamilare Eweje. Oluwadamilare got his job in April 2024. Oluwadamilare is in the UK, in Leeds, and he got this job as a sustainability data analyst. All right. I'm still going to share success stories with you, but I'm going somewhere and I'm taking you on a journey with me. He got this job in April 2024. Prior to that, he worked with us as a data analyst, Tenalytics UK. Now, employers want to see this. They want to see that you've worked somewhere in the capacity they want to hire you for. And they want you to also list reputable organizations for references. So this is what a typical reference would look like. This came in about less than 24 hours ago. Okay. So it came in from an organization in the UK, Cumberland Council. All right. So this is Friday. You can see the date right here, 28th of February, Friday. They sent us this reference check for one of our participants. Of course, we are not listing out the names. I've blotted out the names simply because they haven't started the jobs yet. So you can see they're still carrying out the reference checks. The lady has received her offer and she'll be starting this job with them in the next couple of weeks. Okay, so good afternoon. Find attached a reference for this particular person. For their new role with the Cumberland Council, please complete the form attached and reply the email at your earliest convenience. This is the opportunity you get, listing either Tenalytics or Amdari as part of your work experience, and you get this from us. We fill out these references for you. They ask questions like, what's the best way to work with this professional? What are their weaknesses and strengths? All right, what exactly did they do? What skills and technology can they use? You have this from Oluwafumilayo. Oluwafumilayo got this job as a business intelligence and reporting analyst. And the organization reached out to us. This was on Wednesday, the 26th of February. Dear Mr. Deza Suleiman, Oluwafumilayo's reference. Oluwafumilayo has been offered the post of ERP Business Intelligence and Reporting Analyst and has given permission for us to approach you for a reference. So these are the opportunities you get. So many of them. This is for Temi. Temi got a job as a senior finance analyst, senior finance assistant, and she listed us as part of our work experience. Okay, you have somebody like Ike now. His own came in also on Wednesday, the 26th. Ike now got a job as an information analyst, visa-sponsored job with the NHS. If you look at the attachment right here, you'd see the NHS logo. It's a visa-sponsored job, and the NHS is confirming his work experience for him to get that job. Okay, so it's very important that you don't just gain experience and showcase the experience, but you can also get references for that experience. All right. And that's how somebody like Rita Last year, when the Home Office in the UK made changes to the immigration policies, they increased the salary threshold to 38,700 and made so many changes. Rita went ahead to apply. She reached out to HR to tell them that, look, I want my COS. Okay. I've been working with you. I've been doing an amazing job. And well, this is another, strategy of getting visa sponsorship. I'll show you how to watch some of these videos on strategies of getting visa sponsorship. So what Rita simply did was to use one of the strategies called stoop to conquer. Stoop to conquer. And what does stoop to conquer mean? You know that this company has the license to sponsor. You know that they've sponsored so many people in the past. But the job I got with this company or the job I'm applying for does not come with sponsorship. But I don't care. I'm still going to apply. I know there's a potential for me to get sponsorship. Within the next 3 months to 6 months, where you have your confirmation, okay, you'd give them the very best, 110%. You show them that you're the best person, you're the best hire for them in that year. When you've shown how good you are, you can then request for a reference, for a COS, I beg your pardon. And that was what Rita did. So she requested for the COS. She sent us this, WhatsApp message. I spoke to my manager about the visa when the rules changed, but HR pushed back and forth until they gave me the COS on Thursday. I applied for the visa on Saturday using the priority service, and today I got my decision. Thank you so much. I'm grateful to Tenalytics because the program taught me SQL, which I use to get this fixed term contract. Thank you very much. So that's somebody like Rita. You have Ikmat. Ikmat was a stay-at-home mom. She went to the UK for her master's. She knew that when I get out of the university, I want to get a job. She joined our data analytics program. And while she was in the program, she got 2 job offers. And immediately after, because she was a student, she couldn't take the job because of the 20-hour per week limitation. Immediately she completed the program, she got a job as a data analyst with the NHS, full visa sponsorship. All right. I'm sure you would love to listen to people like Ikmat, people like Ramat. Ramat was in customer service. She joined our business analysis program. Today, Ramat is a business architect, also with the NHS, full visa sponsorship. Toyin was a pharmacist back in Nigeria. Toyin moved to the UK. She went for her master's. She knew she needed to get a job. She had been applying, couldn't get a job. She joined our data analytics program. And today, Toyin is a benefits analyst, also with the NHS on full visa sponsorship. Now, the NHS, Tenalytics has over 59 alumni working with the NHS, full visa sponsorship as data analysts, business architects, data engineers, pathology data analysts, and so on and so forth. You have someone like Adetayo. Adetayo joined our cybersecurity program. 60 to 70% completion of the program. He landed a job. You have somebody like Hope, and I want to talk about Hope because Hope is a practical example of our session today. And I'm going to play Hope's video. And if you want to listen to every other person, how they've made their transition, how they learned with us, what they did, how they prepared for interviews, make sure you fill the attendance form. Don't forget that. Fill the attendance form and you'll get all the materials. You get my slides. You can always click on all these links and watch these amazing professionals. But let's talk about Hope a little bit. Hope joined us in September last year, 2024. She had moved to Canada. Just like so many people, certification. Hope did her PMP. She did a certified Scrum Master certification, but she moved into Canada and realized that even with all these certifications, I still cannot get a job. So what did she do? She came to us. She joined our Agile Project Management program in September 2024. And by December, she had gotten a job as a project analyst with Visman in Waterloo, Ontario. But how did she do it? How come her certification could not help her? Remember, competence. Competence over credentials. Never forget this. So she had all the credentials, PMP, CSM, but these did not help her get a job. So what helped her get the job? The competence. So what did we do with Hope? We helped Hope create a portfolio. She uploaded projects into that portfolio. She worked on real world projects, just like I've explained. And more importantly, when interviews started coming up, we prepared Hope for her interviews. We worked with her, carried out mock interview sessions, and Hope was able to get a job within the space of 3 months of coming into Tenalytics. So I'm going to play Hope's video. I want you to listen to her. Oluwadamilare got a job as a sustainability business analyst. I just showed you his LinkedIn profile the other time. You have Oyefikayo. Oyefikayo had a background in finance and accounting. She came into Canada as well. The Canada job market's very, very tough. And she struggled to get a job in finance and accounting. But what did she do? She joined our full stack data science program. And today, Oyefikayo is a business solutions analyst. And she got this job a month before she completed her program with us. Okay, so let's listen to Hope very quickly. And then I'm going to walk you through. We've talked about 8 career paths. If I want to choose one of them, I want to get into data analytics or data science, what skills and technologies would I learn? If I want to become a project manager, just like Hope, what skills, what tools, what technologies do I need to learn? I'm going to walk you through that, and then I'll show you what it takes to be a part of any analytics program. And then we'll have a questions and answer session, and then we call it a day. But let's listen to Hope very quickly. Sorry, just give me 1 second. So I'm going to click on this. Remember, you want to have access to this. You want to
working on the ServiceNow platform makes me feel with clients constantly.
Okay. So I'm going to ensure that. So if you heard that first audio, it was audible. You could hear the ad. Just type in a yes so that I know that you would hear Hope when I play Hope's video. Just type in a yes into the chat. Brilliant. Okay, fantastic. So you can all hear. It's a 3-minute video. Hope spoke very slowly, so I'm just going to make it fast a little bit, but I'm sure you'd enjoy listening to Hope. So remember, Hope had all the certifications. She couldn't get a job. She came to us in September. By December, she had landed this job in project management. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Hope's journey.
It helped me land my first project management job in Canada, and I'm really grateful for it. Of course, it's a 6-figure job, and I appreciate the fact that they had a great impact in me landing that job. Hello, my name is Hope Atoge. I am an alumni of Tenalytics. I joined the 2024 September cohort class for Agile Project Management. Prior to joining this cohort, I had a certificate in project management, and I had written the PMP, and I'd also written the Scrum Master certification, which I passed both, but I still needed to land a project management role in Canada. Prior to when I moved to Canada, I had an experience with managing projects and handling agile projects in Nigeria. But moving to Canada, I hadn't gathered enough experience in the project space, so I needed to break into that space. Tenalytics was recommended to me, and I tried it. I had a focus of what I wanted, and they helped me achieve that. I joined the class. It was very interactive. It was very educative. I increased what I knew prior to joining the class, and I learned new things as well. I would definitely recommend Tenalytics to anyone who is looking to break into a new field or change career path. I think Tenalytics is where you should be. You should register with them. They would help you with your post-registration, ongoing classes, getting a job, interview processes and all that. While on the in the class, I applied to a couple of jobs, and Tenalytics helped me with my interview preparation, giving me tips, organizing mock interview sessions as well, and it helped me land my first project management job in Canada, and I'm really grateful for it. Of course, it's a 6-figure job, and I appreciate the fact that they had a great impact in me landing that job. I will recommend Analytics to anyone who is looking to change career path, and they would help you through the process before, during, and even after you land a job. They're willing to help you answer questions, guide you through, help you settle in your new role as well. Thank you very much, Analytics. I really appreciate your help in my career growth, and I hope that anyone who is looking to make an impact in their careers or change career path are looking to work with Analytics, because they're one educational agency I would recommend to anyone. Thank you very much, Analytics.
Okay, so that's Hope. Absolutely phenomenal lady. So when tons of people are complaining that there are no jobs in Canada, Hope got a job as a project manager within 3 months working with us, and it's a six-figure job. You heard that from her yourself. So I'm also going to show you a couple of other, quick success stories, and where you can all go to watch as many testimonials as you want, because it's always good to see people who have, threaded that path before. They've gone ahead of you, and you can always learn one or two things from them. But there is more. Okay, if you listen to Hope carefully, you'd realize that getting the skills, the technical skills, and the experience is even not enough to land a job. So we've talked about experience, how to gain experience, how to work on projects, and so on and so forth, how to list those projects in a real world, environment, a portfolio, which is your showroom. People can walk in there, they can see what you've built. Your link to your portfolio is on your CV, it's on your LinkedIn. Everybody has access to it. But there is something else you need. After getting the technical skills in class, working on projects, you've built experience, you also need employability skills. So if you listen to Hope, she mentioned a couple of things, all right? Interview preparation, helping you settle into the job if you have questions, references and recommendation, just like I had shared with you. And that's something a lot of people ignore, the employability skills. So we don't stop there, because we know that the secret sauce and what has made us so successful over the last 4 years, going into the fifth year this year, is employability. So once we equip you with the skills that you need in class, you've gained the experience you need also during our internship. The next step is we work on your CV for you. We help you optimize your CV, revamp your CV, ensure it's keyword optimized, it is ATS friendly, and it can go past the ATS system essentially. And then we also show you how to tailor your CV for subsequent applications. So when you want to apply to jobs in the future, you don't need to stress. All you need to do is what? Tailor the CV to the new job you're applying to. We also help with your LinkedIn optimization. You saw Victor's LinkedIn, absolutely phenomenal. It didn't happen by chance. You go through a LinkedIn optimization session with us, and we show you all the right things to do in order to have an optimized profile. Navigating the job markets, where and how do you apply to jobs? Okay, we show you where to apply to jobs. We show you how to apply to jobs, how to use where different platforms for you to use in applying to these jobs. And more importantly, something we do right here is for the type of jobs you want to get, especially for those in the UK, where you want visa-sponsored jobs. You don't get those jobs on the general platform. So most people would go to CV Library. They go to findjobs.gov.uk. They go to read.co.uk, Glassdoor, Indeed. You won't get the type of jobs you want. You won't easily get visa-sponsored jobs right there. Where do you get visa-sponsored jobs? On paid platforms. Platforms where you have to subscribe, and then you have access to jobs that are 100% visa sponsored. So what we do at Analytics is we pay to those platforms, we subscribe, and we scrape jobs every single week, and we send those jobs to you. I'll show you what it looks like. All right. So we scrape those jobs every Sunday. We post the jobs into your classroom. You go in there, and we vetted these jobs to be sure that these are the type of jobs you can get. And so you have tons and tons of jobs funneled to you for you to apply to. And that's where you see people like Hope, people like Damilare, people like Ikmat, who have been able to land a job with visa sponsorship and so on. Then you have interview prep. When you have an interview, who is better placed? If you have an interview for a data science role, who is better placed than somebody who is a data scientist to prepare you for that interview. Okay, so you have interview prep with us. All you have to do is schedule your interview, and I'll show you how you can do that. So in the LMS, you've joined one of our programs, you've gone to your dashboard. All you have to do, at the right-hand side, you'd see where you have interview preparation. Okay, you go in there, click on schedule appointment. And once you click on schedule appointment, your name is automatically captured. When exactly did you join the program? Select the program you joined, say data analytics, for example. Enter the link to the job you applied to that you are being interviewed for. You post details of the job, the interview stage. Is it the first, second level, first level interview? Select that. If you have the details, the responsibilities and all of that, you select. When do you want to be interviewed? You click on that. I want to be interviewed tomorrow, the 2nd of March. You upload the CV you used to apply and you click on select instructor. You select one, you look at the different timings available. You select one and somebody would prepare you tomorrow for that interview. I had a session last week and there was a gentleman who made his payments immediately after my session last week, Saturday. He had an interview coming up on Tuesday this past week. So he paid because he wanted the interview prep and he got his interview preparation for a cybersecurity role. And these are the opportunities you get when you join Tenalytics. Okay, so interview preparation, you have that right there. You want a reference letter. You're applying for a master's program. You're applying for a PhD program. You can request for a reference letter, or the school sends us the reference link. We fill it and we provide that to you. All right. So I'll just show you how you also get to, how we send you jobs for you to apply to. All right. So if you go to a typical classroom, let's go to a class that started in January, for example. Let's go to data analytics. Okay. So let's assume you've joined our data analytics program. This is your live classroom where you have your live sessions. Okay. So this is going to come up in a few, and I'm going to show you the jobs and where you get jobs from us. You don't need to pay or subscribe to any platform, and you have the opportunity to join these, to apply to these jobs. So you see where you have job offers. If you scroll all the way down, click on that, it takes you into a particular spreadsheet every single week. So the one for the March has been posted already. Okay. So you'd see that right there. You've seen jobs that have been posted. Does it come with sponsorship in the UK? Absolutely. You can see yes, yes, yes. And these are the jobs we have vetted. We know that you apply to these jobs, you get interviews. We prepare you for those interviews and you land the jobs. So you see that right there. Okay. Sponsorship jobs. It doesn't matter. You're in Nigeria, Canada, the US, the UK. We send you these jobs week in, week out for you to apply to. All right. So when you see people getting jobs, oh, go to Tenalytics. I recommend Tenalytics. This is simply the reason why. Okay. Of course, we talked about the references. You have the opportunity to get a reference from us on the job support. Like Hope said, even after you've gotten the job, you need support on the job. There are questions you want to ask. We work with you to ensure you have a solid footing on that in that job. You have weekly mentorship sessions. So every Thursdays, you have a mentorship session. All right. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay. Every Thursday evening, you have a mentorship session. So you see your mentorship session right here. Unconventional job search strategies. So the mentorship session is where you have the opportunity to interact with professionals, industry experts that have done it before. They've been there and they literally would hold your hands to ensure that you also get there. The seat and star approach for interview preparation, navigating the job market, utilizing AI for job application, and so on. Now, the beauty about this, for every live class you have, they're all recorded. Okay, so if you miss the live class for any reason, the recording is there. So I took a session last week, Thursday, a mentorship session on how to build a personalized networking plan. So let's assume you missed this session, for example. You have access to the slides. You can come to the slides. You can see exactly what was taught on that day and so on and so forth. And you can also watch the recording, just like your live classes. If you miss that live class, you can always come back and watch the recording. So that's me right there. I had this session last week, Thursday. Okay. Practical. All our sessions are 100% practical. So from giving you the presentation to showing you exactly how to do it. Okay, so this is us going on to LinkedIn, trying to connect with a recruitment consultant. And what type of messages do you send to recruitment consultants to ensure that you are top of mind and on their radar? Okay, so these are the things you get. You have access to this, lifetime access. You can come back and watch this at your own convenience. All right. And then finally, you have Upwork optimization. Okay. So Upwork is a platform for freelance jobs opportunities. And if you want to work as a freelancer, for example, we help you build an Upwork profile. If you already have one, we help you optimize. You have access to the mentorship. I talked about this already, the mentorship sessions. So what we do is, because we have our participants from across the globe, the UK, the US, Canada, Jamaica. Last week, we had 3 Nigerians who live in Kazakhstan. They registered from Kazakhstan. And I think that was the first, for us. One of them registered, and then he recommended his other friends to register as well. 3 of them registered, and I saw Kazakhstan on the list, and that was pretty interesting. So what we do to accommodate everybody for the mentorship session is, this Thursday would be UK timing, favorable to the UK, Europe, West Africa timing, because you are within the same similar time zone. Then the following Thursday, the following week, we have sessions for those in the US, in Canada, North America, and similar time zone. So you're not going to be in the UK and joining sessions at odd hours or vice versa. All right. And you have access to everything anyways, because you can always go to your classroom, have access to all the mentorship recordings, and you can always watch and see what happened. And of course, like I mentioned, you get access to jobs that are not available to everyone. Paid job boards. We pay for those jobs, we pay for those platforms, and we send you the jobs. So you have access to jobs that your contemporaries don't have access to. And that's what gives you the opportunity to land the job. Okay. So in the next 10 minutes, I'm just going to walk you through the skills that you need to learn, because this is something that a lot of people struggle to get. Okay. And what is that? They want to become a business analyst. They don't know what to learn. They learn irrelevancies, and they don't get to learn the real skills that employers are hiring for. So I'll show you those skills very quickly across all the 8 programs that I have listed, and then we'll see what it takes to get started in any of the 8 career paths. If you've gotten value for your time so far, just type in value into the chat before I continue. Just type in value into the time. If you've gotten value for your time, fantastic. Brilliant. Thank you very much, guys. We still have so much more to give. And I'm just going to show you the key skills you need to learn. For a business analyst, for example, what do you need to learn? A business analyst starts with the data analytics skills. So you must know how to manage data, analyze data, extract insights from data, and visualize that data using tools like Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Very key for a business analyst. The modern business analyst has data skills. That's the very first thing you need to learn. Then you move into process mapping. This is where you go into an organization, and you want to map out their processes. How does this process start and how does it end? What are the different tasks and who are the stakeholders responsible in between? Where are the gaps and the inefficiencies so I can close those gaps? You can only do that once you've mapped out the process, the as-is process, the current state. What's the current state of this process? And how can I optimize the process to have a future state or a to-be process? And you'd use tools like Lucidchart and Draw.io for that. As a business analyst, you must also have the skills of a project manager. You'd learn project initiation and planning. You'd learn Agile and Scrum for projects. You'd learn the software development lifecycle. And you'd use the tools like Jira to track project deliverables, Confluence to collaborate on projects, Trello to manage teams and responsibilities of your team members, and you'd also get to learn Azure DevOps. You'd learn requirement fundamentals, elicitation, stakeholder analysis and engagement, and AI for business analysis using ChatGPT. Now, like I mentioned earlier during our conversation so far, your classes are on Saturdays. So on Saturday, you have a live class, and it doesn't matter where you are. If you're in the UK, you're in the US, Canada, Nigeria, Ghana, Zambia, South Africa, Kazakhstan, there's a class for your time zone. If you're in the UK, for example, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. So in the morning, 3 hours on a Saturday, you have your live class. You join a live class with a professional, you work on projects together. If you're in the US or Canada, your class starts at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So what this simply means is if I live in the UK, for example, and I'm not available in the morning, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., I will join the session for those in the US or Canada in the evening, which would start 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. my time. Okay, so you have a flexible way of learning, especially in your live classes, and every other day from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all through the week, you join the LMS, the learning management system. You learn at your own pace. You watch your videos, solve case studies, and practice at your own convenience. There are two ways of learning, two plans of learning with us. You have the 6 months learning and 2 months internship. So you learn for 6 months, learn the tools, learn the skills, learn the technologies for 6 months. And then for 2 months, you have your internship, working in a cross-functional team, solving problems. Then for those who want elongated internship, you have the 6 months learning in class and then the 6-month internship. So these are the two options, and you get to select the one you want. Okay. Then you have the data scientist. As a data scientist, you get to learn statistics, which is the foundation of machine learning. A lot of people learn data science by starting with Python. If you ever do that, it's equivalent to you building a house, but starting from the roof. So you have to learn the fundamentals. You have to build a foundation before you build the house. So you learn statistics. You learn forecasting and predictive analytics with Microsoft Excel, Tableau for data analytics, and SQL, structured query language. You learn all these technologies before you move into Python programming, Python for your exploratory data analysis, your machine learning, supervised, unsupervised, computer vision, GitHub for your version control, AI for data science using ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot. And finally, last but not the least, you learn Microsoft Fabric for analytics. Again, the timeline is the same. All right. Saturdays are for your live classes. Every other day, you join the LMS, you watch your videos at your convenience, solve problems, and so on. First option, you have 6 months learning in class, 2 months internship, 6 months learning in class, 6 months internship for those that want elongated internships. Then you have the Agile Project Manager. As an Agile project manager, you can get a job as a Scrum Master, get a job as an Agile coach, get a job as a project analyst, just like Hope. All right. And that's simply because the Agile methodology itself has multiple frameworks: the Scrum framework, the Kanban framework, the Lean framework, the SAFe framework. And these are frameworks under Agile that gives you the opportunity to get jobs as a Scrum Master, as an Agile coach, as a project manager, a PMO analyst, and so on and so forth. Okay. You'd learn introduction to project management, the foundation of Agile and Scrum, the project management skills and communication. You would understand the Scrum framework, the Scrum artifacts from your product backlog to your sprints, increments, advanced Agile practices, end-to-end use of Jira and Confluence. You're going to learn Jira and Confluence to track project deliverables, to collaborate on projects, Kanban boards for your workflow management, the velocity, the burn up, the burn down charts, and so on and so forth. You'd learn the Nexus Skilled Scrum and would help you prepare for the Professional Scrum Master examination. Okay. You're also going to learn how to use Trello to track and collaborate with your team members. Okay. The timeline, similar to the others. Saturdays are for your live classes. Every other day on the LMS, you're watching your videos at your own convenience. 6 months learning, 2 months internship, 6 months learning, 6 months internship. Then you have the data engineers. They are responsible for ensuring that wherever data is generated, that data is extracted and stored in a central location for easy access. So imagine you work in the bank, for example, you work with NatWest, you work with Lloyds Bank, you have your Lloyds Bank credit card, or you have your Scotiabank credit card. You can use that credit card in the mall, paying using the POS terminal. You can use that card, your debit card, for example, to withdraw cash from an ATM machine. You can pay for items online using different web, internet, banking options. Now, whenever you carry out a transaction, that transaction is stored somewhere. The POS transaction is stored somewhere. The ATM transaction is stored. The web, transaction you carried out is stored somewhere. You carry out a transaction from your mobile app, that transaction is stored somewhere. If I want to analyze transaction data, I need access to the data across multiple channels: POS, ATM, mobile app, web app. How do I get the data? The data engineer would go to those different platforms, extract the data from those platforms, create a pipeline to move that data into a data warehouse. That data warehouse is where I have access to get my data from. So the data engineers would have understanding of what data engineering is all about. They would learn SQL, because SQL is the technology they would use for their data warehousing, databases, and so on. They would also get to learn Python programming, which is what they would use to build the ETL pipelines, the pipelines that would move data from where the data is generated to where the data should be stored. So you'd learn Linux for your bash scripting. You'd learn how to get data from custom ETL pipelines, getting data from databases, APIs, script data from the web. You'd learn how to use technologies like Spark and Airflow to automate your data pipeline. So once you are getting data from the POS machines, from the ATMs, from the mobile app, you don't want it to stop. You want to ensure that data keeps on flowing every day, every time. To automate the process, you can use technologies like Spark and Airflow. You would learn cloud engineering, GCP, Google Cloud Platform, Microsoft Azure. These are the two major cloud platforms you would learn. And this gives you the opportunity to get jobs like being a cloud architect, a cloud engineer, and so on and so forth. Version control with Git, ChatGPT, and GitHub Copilot for AI for data engineering. And of course, like the other programs, the timeline is similar. It doesn't matter where you are. You're in the US, you're in Canada, you're in the UK, you are in Ghana. There is a time that fits your time zone. Then you have the data analyst. As a data analyst, you are responsible for ensuring that that data warehouse, the data engineer created, you can access the data, analyze the data, and extract information from the data to help the business take decisions. All right. So for you to have access to that data in the data warehouse, you must understand SQL, which is what the data engineer used to build that particular data warehouse. So the data analyst would learn SQL, you'd learn problem solving, Microsoft Excel, Power BI, Tableau for data, Power BI and Tableau for business intelligence, data visualization. You'd learn data storytelling, AI for data analytics using ChatGPT and Microsoft Fabric. And just like the other programs, the timing, the schedules are the same. Okay. Then we move to the financial analyst. For those that say they want to become financial analysts, as a financial analyst, you are simply a data analyst that focuses on financial records. So you help businesses identify areas for cost optimization. You get the financial data and you use that to help the company assess its profitability. You look at things like the net profit margin, return on equity, return on investment. And when there are changes in the economy, the feds change the the rates, or you have the Bank of England changing the interest rates. What happens? How do we carry out scenario analysis to identify exactly how this would impact the industry, how this would impact our organization? And these are the roles of what? The financial analyst. So you learn your data skills, problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL. These are your data skills. Then you move into the core financial areas: accounting fundamentals, financial analysis, financial modeling, valuation, sensitivity and scenario analysis, and AI for analytics using Chat GPT. You don't need experience in finance or accounting to be in this class. You don't need any experience to be in any of the programs, because all the skills, the technologies, and the tools will be taught to you in class. All right. As long as you can open up a computer, you can open up and close files, you can browse the internet, you are confident using a computer, you have no problems getting into any of the programs. For 6 months, would work with you, learning the skills and the technologies, working on projects together. And for those that choose the 2 month internship, you go for the first option. And for those that want longer internship, working on more projects, you get 6 months internship. All right. Then you have the HR analyst. The HR analysts are also data analysts. The difference is they don't work on all types of data. The data analyst would work on customer data, do customer segmentation. Data analysts would work on research data to extract insights and so many other types of data. But the HR analyst focuses on what? People data, HR data. They want to identify things like what factors or which factors predicts employee turnover. Why are employees leaving? You want to scrape data from your HR management system and analyze that data to identify something like that. So you have to learn data skills like the data analyst, problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL. These are your data skills. Then you learn the core areas in HR analytics, HR analytics and performance evaluation, HR metrics and life cycle, HR analysis and dashboarding, collaboration and report automation, creating your case, building your case and creating action, and AI for HR analytics using ChatGPT. And of course, the timelines, the structure, the same like the previous programs I presented. And last but not the least, you have the cybersecurity analyst program. And like I mentioned earlier, you have the opportunity to specialize in 3 major areas. Number 1 is GRC, governance, risk, and compliance. Number 2 is ethical hacking or penetration tester. And then you have SOC analyst, security operations center analyst. As a GRC professional, what do? You help the organization align with industry goals and industry regulations. You implement industry standards and frameworks within the company to ensure that the organization adheres to robust security practices. And I'll give you a typical example. When you work in a new company as a data analyst or a data scientist, for example, there is a data warehouse that exists. Organizations will store their data in a data warehouse, and data is very, very sensitive. Okay. It is the role of the GRC consultant to come up with a governance framework that protects that data warehouse. Who is the custodian of the data warehouse? Who has access to what in that data warehouse? How does a new employee gain user credentials, username and passwords to access the data warehouse? So as a GRC professional, you come up with those policies, you come up with those frameworks. You ensure that the organization adheres to relevant laws and regulations and other industry standards. And you also maintain thorough records of compliance activities within the organization. As a penetration tester, like the name implies, you are simply identifying vulnerabilities within organizations. So organizations are always careful so they don't get hacked by external threats. So as a pen tester, what you do is you try to hack the organization before somebody externally gets to hack that organization. So you try to hack the system, hack the network, and so on and so forth. Okay. So when you identify vulnerabilities, when you try to hack, you come up with policies, you come up with strategies to cover those gaps that exist so that bad actors would have no opportunity to hack into your systems. And then you have the SOC analyst, the Security Operations Center analyst. Their job is to watch out for threats. So they monitor the systems, they monitor the computers, they monitor the network to identify suspicious activities. For example, let's assume you've always lived in the UK, you moved to Canada for holidays, and the SOC analyst just gets an alert that somebody is trying to pay with a credit card in Canada, a credit card, a Lloyds Bank credit card, for example, or a NatWest credit card, for example, that should be used in the UK, but it's currently, being used in Canada. So what happens when the SOC analyst sees that threat? There's an alert of change in location. What do? They can stop that transaction from happening. They investigate it. And based on their findings, they take actions to block all login attempts, block all, transactions on that card, and even freeze or close that card. So that's the role of the SOC analyst. They monitor, they watch for threats, they investigate alerts, they stop attacks before it even happens, and they come up with policies to prevent even future attacks based on attacks that happened in the past. So these are the three key areas you can get into as a cybersecurity professional with us. All right. And what do you learn? Of course, you start with the very foundation of cybersecurity overview, roles and technologies, information security principles and risk management, network security, threats and vulnerabilities, SOC roles and responsibilities, threat detection and response, incident response, threat intelligence lifecycle, the open source intelligence gathering, malware analysis, penetration testing, vulnerability scanning, privilege escalation and exploitation techniques, governance and compliance frameworks, ISO 27001, compliance audits, policies and developments, and security awareness training and reporting. All right. You get to use all these technologies. And by the end of 6 months, you've learned all the tools and technologies. And then you move into the 2 month internship or the 6 month internship. And like I mentioned, there are so many more success stories. I'm not going to bore you with too many. I'm going to play maybe just one more, and then we move on to what it takes. If you want to get into a 10 analytics program today, because registration is closing or registration closes on Wednesday, the 5th of March. So if you want to join the March cohort, how can you join today? All right. So I'm going to just highlight a couple of other success stories. I'll show you where to get all the other success stories, and then we'll take some questions. This is Lois. Back in Nigeria, Lois was a procurement professional. She was also an accountant. All right. She joined our business analysis program, and from us helping Lois during her interviews, application process, and so on, today Lois is a project manager in the UK. You have Ngozi. Ngozi worked in customer service while she was in the UK. Zero experience in tech. Today, Ngozi is a business analyst after joining our business analysis program. We've seen Olua Damilare already, who is a sustainability data analyst, and so many other success stories. Fola joined us in February 2024. And by May 2024, she got a job with the government of BC, British Columbia in Canada. You have Benem. Benem joined our HR analytics program in January. She completed her program in April, and by August, she landed this job as a HR analyst in the US. Okay. So this is Benem sending a message saying that, hi, Mary. Mary is the lead for HR analytics. So she sent a message to Mary. Hi, Mary, an update. I got the job. Thank you so much, Analytics too. I'm very happy that I took this opportunity. I'll be starting on the 19th of August. Also wanted to let you know that I will send the internship project for review by Friday. So she hadn't even completed her internship and she landed this job as a HR analyst in the US. Okay, you have Busola. We saw Busola's LinkedIn. She got a job with Desjardins as a performance analyst last year in July. You have Abigail, who was a care worker in Saskatchewan. She joined our business analysis program. Abigail today works with the government of Alberta as a business analyst. You have Abisola. Abisola is a machine learning engineer with a company in the UK after completing our data science program, and so many other professionals. Okay. So what I'm going to do is you have access to all the links, you have access to my slides, and you can all go back and watch all these professionals. Click the link, listen to them, and this gives you an insight into how they were able to do it and how you can do it as well. Now, we've done amazing work for people across the globe. Okay, we wanted to get close or closer to our North American audience. So we decided to come into Canada last year, January. And by May, we had set up Tenalytics also in Canada, operating out of Alberta, Canada. And one of the ways we tried to get into the market was to get into the Alberta Catalyzer Velocity Program, which is a program for innovative startups by the Alberta government. So that's me right there. That's me right there as well. And that's Ifemena, the co-founder of Tenalytics. So it's amazing. I would love you to read, the articles of the post that was made and the amazing work that we are doing across the space. So we got into the Catalyzer program and it was an absolutely phenomenal time spent with the Alberta Catalyzer Velocity program. And of course, you'd see this here, Tenalytics, helping Africans and the Black community break into tech. Tenalytics has already helped over 2,500 Africans launch successful careers in less than 4 years. All right. And one of the things, the major milestones for us as well, was to get accredited by the American Council of Training and Development. And of course, you have access to view the accreditation right there. Okay. So we're going to listen to Lois. Remember Lois. I want you to remember Lois before I go to Lois. Okay. Lois was an accountant back in Nigeria, no experience, and she needed to get a job. She came to us, joined our business analysis program, but she didn't get a job as a business analyst. She got a job as a project manager. And I want to talk about that a little bit. Why did she get this job? She got the job because project management roles were in high demand in the city where she studied. So rather than applying for business analysis roles, she decided to go for project management. And of course, business analysis includes project management skills. As a business analyst, you'd learn project initiation and planning. You'd learn Agile and Scrum for projects. You'd learn the software development lifecycle. You'd learn stakeholder analysis and engagement. But let's listen to Lois. Lois was pretty dramatic, but also very fun to watch. So I'm sure you'd enjoy listening to Lois.
I love Monday.com.
Sorry, you'd enjoy listening to Lois and hearing her journey. Once we've done that, you'd see what it takes to get into the March cohorts and how you can also become a part of Tenalytics. So sit back, relax, and let's hear from Lois.
Hi guys, my name is Lois. I joined Analytics Business Analysis class in November 2023 with zero knowledge of BA, even though I was doing my master's at the time, which was focused on the management part of business analysis, not the techniques, tools, or even the requirements. I am so excited, as you can see, because guys, I just landed my first tech job as a project manager. Let me tell you a bit about my journey. So before I joined Analytics, I was an accountant and a procurement expert, so I didn't even know anything about tech. Analytics was my first exposure to core BA training, and I learned so much. Things like SDLC, requirement elicitation, process mapping, project initiation and planning. And even apart from the BA training, they also helped me to develop myself through a lot of mentorship sessions that built me up in interview preparation, LinkedIn optimization, a day in the life as a BA, job search strategy, CV optimization, negotiation like a pro, career transitioning. Guys, it was a lot of value. I also ensured that I was actively involved in class. I mean, who didn't know Lois in the cohort? But after my training, I waited to complete my master's because I couldn't work full-time while studying. I then had my career plan mapped out, and my first goal was to get a job in a student-focused role because of personal reasons, and then transition to be a project manager. I mean, BA and PM are so relatable, and there were more project management roles in my city. So immediately I finished my studies, I leveraged on the CV skill, the interview skills that I had been taught to land my first job in the university in a student-focused role. And guess what? 6 months later, exactly 6 months later, I landed the job I'm talking about now as a project manager, doubled the salary. So thank you. Analysis, I'm so happy to be in the tech space, and I encourage everyone that want to upskill, that want to have a refresher course, to please do what? Join Analytics and be like me, because I mean, who doesn't want the money? Who doesn't want the skill? Who doesn't want to be in the tech space? So join
I always crack
Analytics.
up when I listen to Lois. Super excited, super fantastic lady. But of course, her excitement is, is well deserved. She got a job, upskilled, and today she's a project manager doing amazing stuff in the UK. Now, what are the next steps and how do you get started? Okay, for those who want to get started joining us, we have a cohort that commence on the 8th of March, and that's why registration closes on the 5th, on Wednesday the 5th. So if you want to get in, this is the best time for you to get started. So to join any of the programs, and this is where I come to the amazing offer that I have for those who are ready to kickstart their journey today. So you want to join the business analysis program, the data analytics, data engineering, any of the programs I've listed, the 8 career path. And you want to go for the 8-month plan, which is 6 months learning, 2 months internship. Rather than paying $900, you get to pay just $750, which is a 20% discount. All right. And for those going for the 12-month plan, which is 6 months learning in class and 6-month internship, the elongated internship, rather than paying $1,200, you get to pay $1,000. And this is a 20% off as well. To make it easier and even flexible for you to be a part of any of the programs, you have the opportunity to make payments in monthly installments. So for the 8-month plan, you get to pay $150 for 5 months. And for the 12-month plan, you get to pay $125 per month for 8 months. Now, the discount is not available to everyone. Last week, we gave 20%. Oh, sorry, we gave to 20 people. But this week, we have just 10 slots available. Okay. So the next 10 people to register would get access to these discounts. Not for everyone. Okay. So I'll show you how to go about making payments and all of that. But the discount is for the first 10 people to register from today's session. All right. And once we get to 10, the discount is off. Okay. Or if we don't get to 10 by the 5th of March, the discount is also off. So whichever comes first. If we get to 10 today, the discount closes today. If we don't get to 10 by Wednesday, the 5th of March, the discount closes Wednesday, the 5th of March. So how do I become a part of Analytics? How do I get started? All you need to do for those who want to get started is to click on this link right here. My colleagues would share this as well. And once you do that, it takes you into the enrollment center. You have access to all the program brochures. Okay, so the nitty-gritty. What am I going to learn in Excel as a data scientist? I'm going to learn linear regression. I'm going to learn exponential smoothing, moving average technique for forecasting, the naive approach for forecasting, dashboard building, pivot tables, pivot charts, Power Query. What am I going to learn? You have access to the program brochures. If you also want to chat with any of my colleagues, all you have to do is click on this and it takes you to a WhatsApp where you can chat with any of my colleagues and they'll provide any questions, answers to questions that you have. All right. So let's go to one of the programs. Okay. Let's assume I want to register for the business analysis program. The first option, 6 months learning, 2 months internship. I click on this. It takes me into the enrollment page. So we have 10 slots available. Like I said, once the 10 slots are gone, the discount is gone. Okay. So you can pay in any currency. You are in Zambia, for example, or you're in Nigeria, or you're in the US, you want to pay in US dollars. All you have to do is come in here, click on this drop down, select United States dollars. Okay. So you'd see the payment plan. All right. You can make a one-time payment. So if you're making a one-time payment, you even get a further discount because the discounted fee is $750, right? But if you pay once, you get additional $50 discount and pay just $700. Same if you also make payments in 2 installments. But let's assume I want to pay in 5 installments of $150 per month. All I need to do is come in here and select this option. If you want to pay in Canadian dollars, like I said, you come in here, drop down and type CAD, you'd see Canadian dollars. So it doesn't matter the currency you select. All the fees you see right here for these 10 slots are the discounted fees, the discounted amounts. Once the 10 slots are gone, the discount is also gone. Okay. So I'm in the UK, I want to pay in pounds. I select the British pounds. I come in here, I select payments in 5 installments, and then I click secure my seat. Okay, so you'd see how you make payments. You make payment today, the 1st of March, 1st of April, you make the second payment, 1st of May, 1st of June, and the final payment comes in 1st of July. So once I click on proceed, I enter my name, I enter my email, and then I click on pay for products. Your phone number as well, you can enter your phone number, and then you enter your card details, select your postcode, your country of residence, and then you confirm payment. The moment you confirm payment, you are making your first installment to secure the discounted slots. All right. Once you complete payment, your automatic confirmation would be sent into the email that you've provided right here, and you'll be automatically redirected to a registration form. But if you don't get redirected or you miss out on that, the link to that registration form would also get into your email as part of your confirmation. So this is what the registration form looks like. All right. So it's a form that just simply helps you select specific details. For example, you want to secure your discount, secure your slots, but you don't have time. You have commitments in March and you want to start in April. Or you are not sure if you should go for data analytics or business analysis, and you want to ask further questions to select the right one. We don't tell you categorically what to do, but we guide you to selecting the right career path. So if you're confused or torn between 2 areas, we can have a clarity session for you, answer those questions. And this is where you get to fill those details. Once your payment is confirmed, you're automatically redirected to this form. Okay. And the link to this form is also sent to your email, just in case you don't get automatically redirected or you miss out on that. Okay. So you fill all your details, type of payment. Did you make full payments or initial? Select all these details, click on next, next, next. All right. You have the terms and conditions and so on. You select your plan, 8 months or 12 months, depending on what you've paid for. And if you have any questions, you can send an email to finance@10analytics.io. Any question regarding payments, finance would respond to those questions for you. If I click on next, I enter my first name, my last name, I provide an email, gender, select that, click on next. The terms and conditions, you read that. You have any questions you want to ask, you can either send us an email to inquiries@10analytics.io, admission@10analytics.io, or call any of my colleagues on these numbers, or you can simply send us a WhatsApp message and somebody would respond to you. You click on next. When did you make payment? I made payment today, the 1st of March, 2025. I select that. I upload a screenshot of my payments. I select the mode of payment. I paid using the main stack website. Click on next. Next. What program are you registering for? For me, that I'm sure, I want to register for cybersecurity. I select that. If I'm not sure and I want to ask further questions, or I'm thinking of agile project management, or I'm thinking of business analysis, but I'm not sure, select the option I need to speak to a professional. Once you select the option I need to speak to a professional, we would arrange and organize a clarity session for you. Okay? Then you click on next. What cohort do you want to start? Okay, the next cohort is on the 8th of March. Next week, Saturday, we'll be working with amazing professionals who will be getting their journey started. Okay, now, what if I want to secure the discount, because the discount is amazing. I don't want to miss this, but I'm not free in March. I'd have time off my schedule in April. Can I start in April? Absolutely. All you have to do is come in here, click the drop down and select what? 5th of April. Okay, and would organize you to move into that cohort. You select your country of residence. How did you find out about us? So how did you know about us to get into this program? Select any of the options you have that aligns with how you got here. And once you submit this, we get all the details and we make those arrangements for you. Remember, the discount is for the first 10 people to get started. I'm going to take questions and answers time. Maybe the next 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, we take questions. I know we've had quite a number of questions in the chat and my colleagues have been answering. So I'm just going to check the chat and see if there's any question that hasn't been answered. So Kwemi is saying, how do I book a clarity session? I already paid for BA, but I'm torn between business analysis and data analytics. So Kwemi, what you should do, okay, the way you paid by going to the main stack. So you see that you see the main stack I just went to, the enrollment center. If you paid from this center, all you have to do, okay, have you filled the attendance form, the registration form? If you fill that form and you did not select, I need to speak to a professional, all you need to do is send us an email. Okay. I think my colleague has responded already. Send an email to ibrahim@10analytics.org. Okay, and somebody would address that immediately. All right, I think my colleague has responded to that. Is the clarity session paid? No, it's free of charge. Clarity session, for you to get access to the clarity session, it means you've secured your slots. You have questions, you want to ask questions. Okay, so but you don't pay for the clarity session separately. So if you find yourself in the clarity session, it's an educative environment, just like this session today. The only difference is we don't have 241 people in the clarity session. We have maybe 5, 6 people, 10 people, and they want questions answered. So you have professionals available to answer those questions for you. So you select the right career path and you are well on your way to getting into the, okay. I think Okwayemi is good to go. Let me see more questions. Osaro says, hi, I have paid and registered. I'm yet to receive the welcome kit. Osaro, you'll receive your welcome kit this coming week. You get the welcome kits at least a week before the program starts. So if you don't receive it this weekend, you'll receive it on or before Monday. Okay. Or you can also check your spam. Sometimes it's sent to you, but it's in your spam and you miss out on that. So also check your spam, Osariodon. But on Monday, If you haven't received it, you've checked your spam, you'd get it by Monday at the latest. Do you have anyone that took your program that has gotten HR jobs? Absolutely. We can't show all the testimonials, but let me show you a couple of people. Let me go to, because it's down my slides. There are tons and tons. I have about 107 slides. Okay. My presentation today was just about, I think, 55 slides. All the other 60 plus slides are testimonials. All right. So let me show you what I mean. So you can see my appendix, more testimonial. And I would also show you our YouTube platform where you can see the videos of people speaking about their journey. So this was in January, for example, people getting jobs. This particular lady, I want to highlight something. I talked about the fact that we send jobs. I showed you the jobs we share on our platforms, right? So this lady sent a message to one of her class organizers, Priscilla. Hi, Priscilla. Happy New Year. I'm overwhelmed, but with good news. I have 3 job interviews. Most importantly, I have an interview with Sask Energy. So for those in Canada, you know Sask Energy for a HR data analyst role. So the person asking about HR for a HR data analyst role. Okay. One of the jobs you posted. So she's confirming that she applied one of the jobs you post to your classrooms. She applied to that job, and now she has 3 interviews. And this is where she sent the message. I got the job. Sending us a message to say I got the job. So I completed this lady's reference. Okay. She's currently working with Sask Energy as a HR data analyst, and so many other people like that. All right. Shei also getting a job working as a performance analyst, or Samudiamen getting a job as a people partner. Okay. A people partner is simply a HR partner. So what it does is to partner with the companies and solve their HR related issues, including HR analyst related issues. And he got this job in the UK working with one of the organizations as a people partner. So these are another HR role. But let's even go into more HR related roles. Okay. I'm just going to skip through and see if I can find more. This is Sonia. Sonia landed her first job in the UK as a HR analyst after completing our HR analytics program. This is Ebube. Ebube used to work as a care worker back in the UK. She joined our data science program, and this is Ebube sending a message. My new role is data scientist. My first proper job in the UK after Tenalytics training. You can see her ID card. She shared that with us as well. Well, let's go to more HR because you asked for HR. Okay, they're just down the slides anyways, but you'd find so many amazing people. Let me see if I can find anyone else and just share with you. Okay, so that's Victor as well. Victor joined our HR analytics program. He got a job working remotely for a company in the US, a company in Chicago, Illinois, worked with them as a people operations analyst. He lived in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, and he got this job after joining our HR analytics program as a people operations analyst. Today, Victor works with Tangerine Africa as a senior HR business partner. All right. So those are professionals, and you have tons and tons of them. But now, where do you even get access to videos? Okay, to listen to people like the ones I played. You listen to Lois, you listen to Hope. All you need to do, go to YouTube. All right, go to YouTube and search for Tenalytics. Go to YouTube and search for Tenalytics. Once you search Tenalytics, it brings up the Tenalytics page. Subscribe so that you get access to all our content and all our materials. Click on the logo, and this takes you to the Tenalytics page, and you get to see 4 years worth of videos that we've been creating since 2020. All right. So any session you miss, for example, you get them here as well. All right. So you'd see the Tenalytics alumni job success stories, or you can simply click on playlists and you'd see access to the job success story. So if I click on that, it takes me to, over 139 videos, and I can watch them one by one. From Hope, I played Hope's video for you. Adetayo got a job in cybersecurity. Ngozi Aderemi got a job as a business analyst. You have Steven. Steven got a job as a what's it now, as a data scientist with a company in Scotland. He lives in Scotland. You have Lois. I played Lois's video. You have Oyefi Kayo. You have Abisola, and so many other amazing, amazing people. All right. Somebody like Vivian. You want to listen to Vivian. You want to listen to, let me see, quite a number of them. Okay. So listen to all these amazing professionals, and I'm sure you'd get inspired by one of them. All right. So this is how you get access to all the different videos available. I've kept the link on my slide as well. So make sure you fill the attendance so you have access to that. Okay. Follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on Instagram, and across all social media. But I hope I answered that question for the gentleman who wanted more HR success stories. Nath is asking, for instance, I did data analytics and I want to move to a senior analyst role. How do you people support me regarding that? So naturally, what I advise you, because moving to a new role involves two things that we've talked about today: skills and experience. Okay. So if you want to move to a senior data, I did that as well. I started as a data analyst, but I got to a data scientist role. That's the natural progression for you. So depending on the set of skills and tools, the tools you know how to use right now, your tech stack, you want to add to your tech stack. Okay, so you want to join a program like the data scientist program. You add machine learning, Python, supervised machine learning, unsupervised computer vision. You add that to your set of skills, and then we help you with your job applications. We help you with the jobs for you to apply to, and also your interviews when you have one. And you have the opportunity to have a sit down with any professional for your interview preparation. Okay. So let me see more questions. Can't we use another email aside for Gmail for classes? So for you to get access to the classroom, you can use other emails. But what we found over time is other emails, you won't get, it's not very compatible with the classroom, because the classroom itself is a Google product. The LMS is a customized analytics product. Okay. So to have no issues with notifications and all of that, the best thing is for you to use a Gmail for your classrooms. So I think that's from Shegu. Shegu must have registered already to have that questions. Flora is asking, so this is one question people ask. Flora is asking, HR partner or HR analyst, same or different? Now, one thing you have to realize, Flora, is because I've learned data analytics, does not mean I can only apply to a data analyst role. I can apply to multitudes of roles within that same ecosystem. All right. For example, I've done HR analytics with analytics. I can apply to a HR analyst role, a people analyst role, a workforce planning analyst role, a talent analytics specialist, a compensation analyst role, a total reward analyst role, a benefit analyst role, a HR operations analyst role, diversity and inclusion analyst, and so on and so forth. All right. So there are so many, derivatives of different career paths. Same with data analytics. I've done data analytics. I've gone through the training, learned the technologies, learned the skills. I can get a job as a business intelligence analyst. And the reason is simple. For a BI analyst, what skills do you need? You need SQL and you need Power BI or Tableau to get a job as a business intelligence analyst. But as a data analyst, I've learned SQL, I've learned Tableau, I've learned Power BI, I've learned problem solving, I've learned Excel, I've learned Microsoft Fabric, I've learned data storytelling. So what would stop me from applying to get that job? Do you get my point? So what you get to do as a HR partner, and what you get to do as a HR analyst would have different responsibilities, but that doesn't mean I can't get that job and I can't do that job because I've done HR analytics. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Flora. Same with financial analytics. I can get a job as a financial planning and analysis professional. I can get a job as a commercial analyst, marketing data analyst, and so on and so forth. And these are the things we help you to navigate, because people just feel like, oh, I did agile project management, I can only get a job as a project manager. No, you can get a job in so many other areas. Or I did business analysis. When I see a job title, product reliability engineer, okay? So when you see a job title, Flora, that says products, let me see if anybody can guess this right. Product reliability engineer. Out of the 8 career paths that we talked about today, which one would give you the skills to apply to this job? This is a job that one of our participants got after completing our program. Product reliability engineer. Type into the chat if you can guess. Okay, maybe I mentioned it, I'm not sure, but Oluwafunilayo got it, absolutely. It's a business analysis, career path. Anthony got it as well. All right. So anybody would see a product reliability engineering role and be like, what university do I have to go to become a product reliability engineer? But guess what? As a business analyst, you can apply to get this job. As a business analyst, you can apply to a business systems analyst role, a business data analyst role, a change management analyst role, a process analyst role, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I hope I answered that question, Flora. Do you offer internships or have to look for? Whoops, that has disappeared. Oh, I was reading the question, but it disappeared. Whoops. Somebody sent a DM. The messages are coming very fast, so I'm reading one and it disappeared. Can I get sponsorship or remote jobs in Canada from Nigeria with any of these programs? Absolutely. We have quite a number of our participants working from Nigeria, working for companies in the UK, in the US, and also in Canada. So when you get my slide or SAS, look out for Abdul Rashid. Okay, look out for Abdul Rashid. Abdul Rashid is one of them. You'd get to learn about his story. He's in Nigeria, in Abuja, and he currently works remotely. Is data analytics in high demand in the UK? And what's the salary range? That's a very interesting question. Nath, in the UK, you want to get a job in the next 1 month and you have skills as a data analyst. You don't even need a month. It's one of the career paths I can tell you categorically. You want to get a job today, you don't need to hustle. You don't need to struggle to land a job as a data analyst in the UK. All right. There's something I always love to share, which is I'll see if I can find that report and share with you. But the average data analyst role in the UK is between £40,000 to around £55,000 per annum, depending on the organization and depending on the industry. Okay. But that's the median salary. We've had people in our program getting jobs and they get offered £60,000. It's happened once because I couldn't even believe my eyes when I saw the offer letter. The gentleman got that job with Cognizant in the UK after completing our data analytics program, and the job came with £60,000. Okay. I would also get to show you this very quickly. And I think we start to call it a day. So if you have any questions I've not been able to answer, please type into the chat so I get all those questions. So this is a real case, a real scenario for the gentleman who asked. So this gentleman, Abdul joined us, got this job sometime, I think last year in March. Okay. He joined our program. Interestingly, he joined our HR analytics program, not data analytics. But because in HR analytics, you also get to learn data skills, problem solving Excel, Power BI, problem solving Excel, SQL, Power BI. He had data skills, right? So he applied to a data analyst role and he got that job. But I want you to focus on Abdul's salary. If you can read this right here, I know it's not very legible, but just read that and you look at the salary. Okay, so that's usually the average. I'm excited to share with you, I received a 44K data analyst role a few days ago. If you would recall, I actively participated in the mock-up HR analyst interview. I will be submitting your email for references purposes today. If I go to my email and I search Abdul, of course, I don't want to put his surname because everybody would know who he is and his exact salary because he's listed it right here. But that's what you typically get on the average. But like I said, we've also had people who got this and they got 60K. Some got 49, 48, some 50 and above, depending on the industry and also the organization. But one thing you also want to know is the data analyst is on the eligible occupations for the skilled worker visa. And that's how you know a career path is in high demand. So if I do a very quick search and I say eligible occupations for the skilled worker visa in the UK. Okay, so the skilled worker visa is where an organization gives you COS, you take the COS, you apply to the Home Office, you get your skilled worker visa, or what you used to refer to as the tier 2, tier 2 visa or the tier 2 skilled worker visa. So let's go to the occupations, and I know the codes. So here you have what? The skilled worker visa, eligible occupations and codes. All right. This was updated in February, 13th of February. The data analyst code, the data analyst code is 3544. So I'm not going to waste time. I'm just going to scroll all the way down. Okay, until we get to what? 3544. And what do you see there? Data analyst. So if you get a job as a data analyst, data officer, data quality analyst, information management analyst, organization and methods analyst, you're eligible to get a skilled worker visa. So part of the things we also show you for those in the UK are strategies for you to deploy to get a visa sponsored job, from every single thing, from researching the company, knowing the companies that can offer you those opportunities and so on. All right. If you go to the code, I think that's 2135. 2135. I'm just going to scroll all the way up. Okay, 2135. This is just to show you. 2135, you see your cybersecurity professionals. All right. If you scroll down a little bit more, you start to see all the career paths we've listed. They are all part of the eligible occupations for the skilled worker visa. That's something that shows you categorically that this career path is in high demand. Before April 2024, we had something called the shortage occupation list in the UK, which shows you list of in-demand career path. But the shortage occupation list was changed and scrapped in April last year and was replaced by the immigration salary list. So what you want to focus on in seeing the career path that are eligible for the skilled worker visa, you want to get into the eligible occupations, you see the codes, and you know that this is eligible. All right. So those are some of the things we show you how to do in addition to so many other things. Okay. So many questions. Do you offer internships, or I have to look for, especially someone in Europe? Of course, I talked about that already. We offer internship. So you have the opportunity. If you want just internship, you don't want training, you don't want the learning and all of that, yes, you can join only the internship. Okay, you can join only the internship. So for those of you that want that option, only internship. So it doesn't just come with the internship. It comes with the internship, all the other things, the CV review, the interview prep, and all of that, your LinkedIn optimization. The only difference is you don't jump into a live class or a self-paced class. Yes, we do offer that. So for Rachel, who asked that question, all you have to do is send us an email to inquiries at Tenalytics. Pardon my handwriting. Tenalytics.io. Tenalytics.io. Okay, I for indigo. Let me see more questions. Does that mean one can't start up as a data scientist with little? You don't need any experience, Temi Tokwe, like I explained. All the programs are designed with the beginner in mind. You don't need any experience to join any program. The gentleman who asked the question was simply asking, I'm a data analyst. I want to become a data scientist. So the data scientist average salary is more than the data analyst. So if you're a data scientist, you learn the skill today, you will earn more than the data analyst. Okay. And I'll show you that. It's all here on my slide, the average salaries and the rest. So I'm going to show you the data scientist and we'll look at the data analyst. All right. The data scientist would earn on the average 55,000 and above, 55,000 pounds if you're in the UK, for example. In Canada, about 94,000 Canadian dollars. And in the US, six figures, 121,000. All right. The data analyst, on the other hand, would earn around 40 to 44,000, 40 to 50,000 pounds per annum. In the UK, about 64,000 Canadian dollars, 72 to 90,000 US dollars on the average. Now, I can start my career as a data analyst today because as a data analyst, I don't have to go learn machine learning. I don't have to learn Python. So when people say that tech is only for those who want to learn programming, the answer is no, that's not correct. As a data analyst, I don't have to go learn all those programming tools, Python, machine learning, supervised, unsupervised. But I want to become a data scientist. I have to learn those technologies and those tools. So you decide on what works for you. At this stage in your career, you want to learn how to code, you want to learn statistics, then you want to consider data science. Okay, all the programs are designed with a beginner in mind. You don't need to have any experience. You don't need to come in with any knowledge. You'd learn all the technologies in class. But let's assume you're a data analyst. You've learned all these skills: problem solving, Excel, SQL, Power BI, Tableau, data storytelling, ChatGPT, Microsoft Fabric. You want to move up the ladder. What do? You add Python, you add machine learning, ML, you add computer vision, and so many other, technologies. All these technologies you'd learn in the data science program. So data analytics is not a prerequisite to data science. You start from the background, but you decide on where you want to start. Do you want to become a data scientist immediately by learning all the tools and technologies? Or you don't want to learn how to code, you don't want to learn Python, machine learning, and you want to move into where you'd learn technologies like Excel, Power BI, SQL, and all of that are seemingly easier. I'm using easy in quotes, that are seemingly easier to learn. So it's all based on your preference and what exactly you want to do in your career path. Post-training as a cybersecurity expert, is there a guarantee for, is there a guarantee for jobs with visa sponsorship in the US? If you do all the things we say you should do, you apply to the jobs we say you should apply, you join your training, join the internship, complete your project, yes, there's a guarantee that you get that job. It's a no-brainer. Cybersecurity is a high in-demand career path. We don't give you the jobs, so we can't tell you that you will get that job 100%. It doesn't make sense. If I come here and say, oh, give me money, and at the end of 6 months, you're going to get a job. I don't give those jobs. But what we do is to give you the skills, give you the knowledge, give you the experience that you need, show you where to apply, send you the links to apply, and guide you when you have interviews. Prepare you. We sit together, we have mock interviews, and that's how you land the job, just like all the other people you've listened to, and you've seen that they've gotten the jobs as well. Okay. I think we've answered quite a lot of questions, and I'm sure there are more questions coming. What I advise you to do for those of you interested in starting your journey, two things. Number one, secure your discounts. Number two, you will still want to sit down with me, sit down with my colleagues, other professionals to ask questions, book an interview prep, a clarity session while filling the form. Just select, I need to speak to a professional, and somebody would jump into class with you to answer those questions. Do you offer cloud computing internship? We do that as part of the data engineering program, because you can't be a data engineer today without learning cloud computing, AWS, GCP, and Microsoft Azure. Okay. All right. So once again, before we call it a day, for the 215 people still on the call, if you've had a great time joining our session today, type in a yes into the chat. Just type in a yes. I had a great time. It was worth my while. I had an amazing time. Okay. Thank you, Yakub, Ella, Esther, okay, Anthony. Well, the best decision you'd ever take is to get started. There are lots of people. I spoke to a lady on Monday. She had recommended her friend last year. Her friend registered, got a job, and she just registered this year. So she delayed. She didn't get the opportunity. She recommended a friend who joined us, and the friend got a job. Okay. So the best time to start was yesterday. The next best time to start is today. Secure the discount. Be one of the first 10 people to take advantage of the discount available. And I'd have a wonderful time, and I'm sure you'd have a wonderful time working together to helping you start your journey into any of the areas you select. Nath says, yes, I love your platform. Fantastic. So follow us across all platforms and get to engage with any of my team members. Thank you very much for spending your Saturday with us. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And I also hope you get your journey started as well. And I'll see you in class on the 8th of March. So cheers, everybody. Thanks for joining again. If you have any questions, go to the website, send us a message, call us on any of our numbers, or send us a WhatsApp message, or send us an email, and somebody would respond to you. Thank you very much, guys. And I'll see some of you in the clarity session. Cheers, everyone. Have an amazing weekend.